is Cranky Kong's son. So given that Cranky and Donkey are listed as two separate characters, and the fact that the movie seems to be drawing from old Mario lore, it's likely that we're gonna see those events from the original arcade game play out in the film. And because it all happens at a construction site, wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being the same one that Mario and Luigi work at under Foreman Spike. Cranky's inclusion also means that we're gonna see a time skip, probably after that opening scene. See, gorillas live somewhere between 35 and 40 years on average. So for Cranky to have kidnapped Pauline and fought Mario in his prime, but then to be an old man monkey in the present day, it's reasonable to assume that something like 10 years have passed. Also, just because I feel like this is the best place to call it out, I don't expect Mario or Luigi to be wearing their iconic outfits at this stage in the movie. They might still have overalls, but I bet they'll be in reversed or different colors, reflecting the original sprites and concept art for the characters having wildly different color palettes. The modern iconic look for the Mario Brothers wasn't solidified until the Super Mario platformers, so I'd expect them gearing up into those for a big final moment later on in the movie. So there you have it, simple as that, Act 1 of the film. Cranky Kong kidnaps someone at a construction site and a young 15 to 20-year-old Mario saves them. If they're keeping in line with Mario canon, the person kidnapped will be Mario's first girlfriend, Pauline. As of yet, no one's been publicly announced to play the character, but that sort of thing's common for minor roles in animated films like this. They'd announce more minor cast members closer to release to keep the movie in the headlines. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have that announcement roll out later. That is, unless they're planning on mixing it up and Peach and Pauline actually wind up being fused into the same character, which, fun fact, has been a pet theory of mine for years that I've never found the evidence to do. See, even I have some evidentiary standards. I mean, not much, but it's good to know that they're there somewhere. Anyway, after that opening rescue, I suspect that we're gonna see some sort of a time skip, probably about 10 years or so to account for Cranky Kong's age. Again, if we're following Mario lore, Pauline will either be mayor of New York or New Donk, or be campaigning for it after the time skip, just like the role that she plays in Super Mario Odyssey. At this point, traditional storytelling technique demands that Mario want something during this phase in the movie. Maybe he's dissatisfied with his construction job, or with his life in general after seeing people he knows like Pauline moving on to bigger and better things. Maybe he's upset with his antagonistic boss Spike, or he dreams of starting his own business. Regardless of what it is, Mario is dissatisfied with where he is in his life, and this want is going to be the thing that gets the adventure started. Given that the plumbing aesthetic of the Mario franchise started specifically in the sewers of New York, something is going to draw Mario and Luigi down there. I believe this is where Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong is going to enter the picture, setting a trap for the Mario Brothers. I say this because Rogen is billed as one of the top 6 actors for the film, and given that we've already established DK exists in the New York section of the world rather than the Mushroom Kingdom section, we gotta find a way to get him into the rest of the story somehow. Here, Mario and Luigi will fight Donkey Kong at the end of Act 1, probably with a bunch of turtles and crabs crawling out of pipes like we see in the Mario Brothers game. Finally, like any good anime, the trip will somehow be isekai'd into the Mushroom Kingdom through a magic pipe, so we can finally hop on over to the Mushroom Kingdom and meet the rest of the cast starting in Act 2. Here in Act 2, I expect the movie is going to draw a lot from the early Mario franchise games. Specifically, it's going to be more or less an adaptation of the original Super Mario Brothers for the NES. You know, the classic stuff. Bowser invading the Mushroom Kingdom, kidnapping Princess Peach after Mario and Luigi arrive, sending the brothers on their journey to stop King Koopa. This will set up 2 important points for our narrative here. First, seeing Peach get kidnapped like Pauline is going to remind Mario of the heroic man that he used to be in his younger years, encouraging him to try and recapture some of his earlier spark. It's also here that we're going to see Donkey Kong switch his loyalties, going from an antagonist to more of a comedic support for Mario and Luigi. I say this primarily because of Seth Rogen's casting. In these sorts of family-friendly animated films, Rogen tends to be the comedic ally for the main good guy. Think of his parts as Pumbaa in The Lion King or Bob in Monsters vs. Aliens. Combine that with reports of a Donkey Kong spin-off in development, that means that DK is going to need to steal a fair bit of screen time to set that film up. Now, this is a pretty wild shot in the dark, but if I had to guess, I'd say that seeing how the kidnapping of Princess Peach devastates the Kingdom of Toads will make Donkey Kong realize that Cranky was wrong all those years ago about kidnapping people. Or heck, maybe Bowser just stole a big old hoard of DK's bananas and that just made him hangry. Either way, DK is probably going to join the good guy side here. Also, Princess Peach will not be the helpless damsel in distress that she is in the classic Mario platformers. Mostly because that would be tone deaf. This is 2022 after all. That sort of stuff doesn't fly anymore. Plus, Anya Taylor-Joy is a girl boss. She has a ton of serious projects playing powerful women under her belt. I doubt she'd want her only lines here to be, "Help me, Mario," and "Here's your cake, Mario." So I expect expect Peach to take an active role in her own rescue. From here, expect the story to play out like a classic Super Mario game. Mario, Luigi, and Donkey Kong adventure through the Mushroom Kingdom's various biomes, going from castle to castle looking for Peach. I wouldn't be surprised to see a funny montage of Mario freeing a castle only for Toad to say the princess is in another castle. Meanwhile, over in his fortress, Bowser and Peach will share a lot of scenes together where she's trying to escape as he attempts to woo her like it's a romantic comedy. Before the final battle, Mario and Luigi get their iconic overalls just so we can make sure that there are some money shots for the trailer, and also a bunch of new merch for Nintendo Land and Universal Studios. True to the first game, Bowser will probably meet his end on a bridge, likely falling into lava. Don't worry, this won't be the last that we see of King Koopa. The post-credits will reveal him nursing his wounds, the camera will pan out for the big teaser reveal of the Koopalings. I mean, it could be Bowser Jr., but let's face it, the Koopalings are way more synonymous with early Mario games and would get way more hype in the press. And that's it, Mario's arc will be resolved. His dissatisfaction with life will disappear as he finds new purpose in the Mushroom Kingdom. Cue a final Easter egg joke of Donkey Kong, Mario, and Luigi hopping into go-karts and racing off into the sunset as the screen fades to black. So that's how I see the story of this Super Mario movie playing out, but don't click away to my other Mario theory on game theory just yet, my friends. We're not done here. See, loyal theorists, there's a last cherry on top of this plot prediction that I think is going to convince you that I'm omniscient if I get right. My wild swing for the fences theory here is that this Super Mario movie is gonna be a musical. Why do I say that? First of all, Illumination Entertainment has itself a history of making movies where gorillas break out into song. In fact, a shocking number of their films are musicals, including ones that are even based on non-musical source material. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that this movie is going to be a musical, but I'd also ask you to once again look at the cast list. Literally all of them have histories with music in some way or another. Let's just do a quick roll call here. Chris Pratt has a surprisingly decent singing voice, and he's already starred in animated movie musicals like the aforementioned Lego Movie. Likewise, Charlie Day basically takes every opportunity he has to add singing into It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Keegan-Michael Key's biggest secret weapon might be his singing voice.
I've looked for love in all the same old places.
Even actors with smaller announced roles here like Kevin Michael Richardson and Fred Armisen have pipes. The weakest singing voice of everyone who's been cast so far would be Seth Rogen, and even he's still sung in movies like the Lion King remake. But the biggest casting coup for Illumination here has to be Anya Taylor-Joy and Jack Black. Because they're Bowser and Peach, they are guaranteed to share a lot of scenes, and therefore at least one musical number. Anya Taylor-Joy has a history as a studio recording artist and has an amazing voice. Jack Black, on the other hand, is a master comedic musician in his own right, being half of the metal band Tenacious D and being well known for his roles in films like The Pick of Destiny and School of Rock. This pair sharing a musical number together is almost too good to pass up. Just imagine Bowser whipping out a guitar and trying to woo Princess Peach through song and dance. It writes itself. And think, people were surprised by the Chris Pratt announcement. Wait till they hear Mario burst out into song in the first trailer. So there you have it, my friends. Feel free to sit the next Nintendo Direct out, Miyamoto-san. I've got you covered. The Mario movie is going to be an origin story starting with construction sites and Kongs,